శ్రీమంతుడు డైలాగ్ చెప్తారు కదా, లైక్ వేర్ మనం ఎక్కడో ఉన్నాము అండ్ మాకు అక్కడే ఉన్నాను. సో ఐ జస్ట్ డింట్ వాంట్ దట్ టు హ్యాపెన్. I wanted my employees also to grow with me, having home food, but you don't want to have the same thing again and again. We are in a generation where we're lazy, number one, because ఇంతకుముందు బయటకి ఏమైనా వెళ్ళాలి అనుకుంటే physical energy ఉండేది, you have to go out and get it. But now everything comes within 10 minutes if you want. My mom always used to say this, నీ చుట్టూ ఉండే 5 people, their average IQ, their average EQ is your own, it's your average. Like వాళ్ళు ఆనందంగా ఉండాలని నువ్వు బాధపడాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. The least amount of marriages in the entire world are in Paris, the most romantic city of the world. They are the highest breakups, they have the highest lonely rate.
Since almost 6-7 years, my goal has been to lose weight. Never achieved it till this year.
So when a very big hurdle comes, if you don't have a strong reason to do the business, you will give up. This is a really good dialogue that comes from ఈ నగరానికి వచ్చిన my favorite movie. He's like, జిందగీ ఏంట్రా అంటే నలుగురు నచ్చిన మనుషులతో 4 మెతుకులు తింటూ నచ్చిన పని చేసుకోవడమేరా.
Hi, welcome to another episode of How Did You Make It? On today's show, we have our favorite Sathwik from Homelyfit. Hi, Sathwik.
Thanks Anusha for inviting me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So usually here we talk about multiple things under the sun with respect to entrepreneurship, with respect to your experience during this journey and about your company as well. So Homelyfit gurinchi I have my own story to tell, but I'll tap into it after your story of it. So how did you get this idea and where are we currently at with Homelyfit?
Thanks for inviting me to the show, Anusha. It's my pleasure. So as for the question of like how Homelyfit is started ఎలా అయింది అంటే, I was personally going through like a weight loss journey, and my brother is a fitness trainer, so he kind of teaches this philosophy where that it's a sustainable thing. You don't have to eat very bland. You can eat the required macros in your calculated meals. He's my first mentor in terms of this health industry because I was in Bangalore before that.
Okay.
Once I came back here, he taught me about how to eat sustainably, that you can eat every day. Even when you go out, you need to know what to eat. So when I realized that there are not so many providers in Hyderabad ecosystem at least, who are giving food that is comfortable food, but also it's following your macros. So that's how we started Homelyfit. It started in like our own apartment with a minimal investment of 5,000, and I was the main head chef and my brother was assisting me in all like cutting, procuring it. So after we started with only Zomato, Swiggy. So every day 8 o'clock there is this one particular gym, Chris Gethin's gym in Kukatpalli. He orders every day morning 2 bread omelette with 2 watermelon juice. It was an alarm, like around 7:45 he places the order, and that's how for months we used to wake up, just cook and send. And 3 months down the line, I think so we were solid enough that okay, we can make this into a good business. That's when we started hiring people. We put an investment, but till date, there was not heavy investment of Homelyfit at once.
Okay.
So every month profit, 50% of it goes back to the company.
Okay.
So I never took money because I wanted to like we didn't have that liquid investment and I didn't want to get any outside investor. So every month, whatever profit comes, 50% goes back to the company till date also.
Fair.
So it just going on. And in between, we went up to a range of opening 8 branches. We tied up with a couple of, we had like great opportunity of working with Mr. Pawan Tayari, who is like the Gym Point founder, and they have a couple of branches.
Yeah.
So along with him also, we opened a branch, and that's how the journey went. We met a lot of people who are in similar industry. So it has been 4 years since Homelyfit started. We had 8 branches, but it came down to 3 branches now, considering the COVID process after that. We just wanted to see what actually works, what doesn't work. We made a lot of mistakes. But right now we are at a place where all the 3 branches combined, we do a gross revenue of 2 CR per year.
That's amazing.
So last financial year, we clocked a revenue of 2 crores. So yeah.
That's wonderful. So because I have an experience associating with Homelyfit, it's been over 1.5 years now.
Yeah.
One thing that I've observed is it's one thing to create food and like actually supply food and all of that is healthy, meal subscription, etc., etc. But another thing that I've observed and I love about Homelyfit is the culture of the organization. How I understand the culture of the organization is, if let's say month or 2 months koksara, let's say like I have a pain point that so and so food is coming late or whatever, the response from everybody in your team is so family like, it's not, they're never defensive, they are never trying to sugarcoat something and say something. They're very nice to talk to. How are you building that culture in the organization?
So to be like, how it was is, I strongly believe that if you make the team think of it as their own company, they also would think those customers are not just company but also theirs. For example, my head chef, rider, 3.5 years back, he came to pick the order and he really liked the setup and he was interested. So he came, he joined me then. And after that, he didn't leave. He's still there, Mr. Rushi. He's there in the company. And he got married. He has a kid also now. So we went to the marriage. It felt like it was our own family member getting married. And he feels that also. Like we make him feel that as and when. Like so, every time his responsibility is increasing towards his personal life, we made sure that his professional life too, there is something compensating. Either we hire extra manpower to make him feel less burden. We increase his salary so that he also feels that he's part of the team. If Homelyfit makes profits, he also makes extra money. So in that way, they feel that if the company is growing, you guys are also growing. It's not like శ్రీమంతుడు డైలాగ్ చెప్తాడు కదా, లైక్ వేర్ మనం ఎక్కడో ఉన్నాము ఆయన మాకు అక్కడే ఉన్నాను. సో ఐ జస్ట్ డింట్ వాంట్ దట్ టు హ్యాపెన్. ఐ వాంటెడ్ మై ఎంప్లాయీస్ ఆల్సో టు గ్రో విత్ మీ. సో ఐ కీప్ పుషింగ్ దెమ్ టు టేక్ బేకింగ్ క్లాసెస్, టు లైక్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద పర్సనల్ లైఫ్, ప్రొఫెషనల్గా కూడా ఇంప్రూవ్ అయ్యేటట్టు ఐ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ గివ్ దట్. సో వెన్ యూ సే సంథింగ్, ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ లైక్ ఇది మా ప్రాబ్లం కాదని వాళ్ళు అనుకోరు. Even if the delivery boy is doing something stupid, who is not even inclined to the organization, we're like, it's our fault, we'll send you a new box for now, we'll solve it for now. So that's from day one I have been telling them the same thing. So just chesedi oka 10 people serve chestunna, give your 100%. Just because they are paying doesn't mean that they also want just material things. Have a little bit empathy when you say something is spicy, we'll understand. Maybe it might not be spicy, but for you it felt spicy.
Correct.
So we'll try to compensate it by doing something or the other immediately. So
fair. So this is only into meal subscriptions right now?
Yeah, majorly the biggest revenue comes from meal subscriptions, because I honestly believe that brand loyalty, like if you're comfortable enough with a brand to collaborate over a long period of time, you have so much brand trust. And also online ordering became so deep discount moded. Like today they're eating one bowl for like $100. Tomorrow you'll get the same bowl for $70 because there's one more player who wants to grab your customers. So it's a very capital based, you need to put a lot of money for you to get influence to that brand. Anta money right now నాకు లేదు, because I'm not accepting outside funds. That's the reason. So right now it's majorly focused on meal based subscription.
Fair.
But the future, at least what I see the next 1-2 years, is we want to get out, or like let's say something in the lines of Indian California burrito, something on those lines. We want to make like a great kiosk store where wherever you go, you know that you can trust this brand called Homelyfit for you to have like a guilt-free, healthy based meal even when you're out. But because when you go out, it's a very big discussion what are we supposed to have. Like, I don't want to like have like a salad because I'm already outside. I don't want to eat a salad. I want to eat something nice. But it doesn't have to be deep fried. It doesn't have to be maida. It doesn't have to have sugar. That's the basic crux of Homelyfit. So any item in Homelyfit doesn't have these three: maida, deep fried or sugar. Ante inka pedda rocket science em ledhu. What is Homelyfit products ante? Any item we try to make it like that. You want a pizza, we'll make it like a whole wheat ragi based pizza. You want Chinese, so instead of deep frying, we'll just like pan grill and we'll toss it in vegetables or like sauces. That's the future of Homelyfit, is what I see.
Fair. So with meal subscriptions, right, I understood that this pain point is there అంటే కంపెనీ సైడ్ నుంచి ఈ పెయిన్ పాయింట్ ఉంటుందని నేను మధ్యలో ఎప్పుడో రియలైజ్ అయ్యాను. ఏంటి అంటే ఆల్దో వీక్లీ మీరు మెన్యూ రొటేట్ చేస్తున్నా సరే there would be a point where the customer might feel like we are eating the same thing. So you change the menu every month. I didn't realize that I could feel monotonous after a point because you kept changing the menu and every month there's a new menu. Chicken ni inni rakalga cheyochani honestly monna kuda actually I think on Wednesday or something the lunch that you sent, I forgot to ping you guys. I usually ping when I like something. Chicken with green based something else.
Yeah, it's basil chicken.
It's amazing. Chicken in rakalga, I am 100% sure you're putting some amount of time and energy into making new styles of chicken. How are you doing it and how much time is being invested in it?
So every week we have a contest.
Okay.
Where all the head chefs, assistant head chefs, including me, we cook one recipe.
Okay.
All of us, we cook one recipe. Ideally in the Sundays, afternoons or evenings, we'll just cook it. And each one gets their own, like some person gets gongura based spaghetti.
Okay.
So a lot different things we kind of like try, experiment it. And edi baundo, that we'll keep a note and we'll keep it in the menu next time. And whoever cooks, like we only vote. Let's say 5 of us will vote. Anni tinin tarvata we'll say this dish is the best ani. So that person who cooked the dish, he'll get like a movie ticket and a meal voucher and what. So he can go out and he can have his own time. So even they are motivated to, it's like a healthy competition between us. If I get to cook the best recipe, I get to, like, I'll not give them, but still I'll take it to myself. So that's one of the biggest thing. Because if someone has to, like, you feel like having home food, but you don't want to have the same thing again and again. It's even now I have a lot of clients who kind of drop by because they feel it's monotonous.
Yeah.
But I feel after a point of time, they say the 21-day challenge. You do something for 21 days and you get used to it. After a point of time, you know that you just get used to the taste palette as such.
Yeah.
Like how me mummy చేసిన food ఎలా ఉన్నా కానీ anyone's parent, you have this one soft keen interest for your parents cooking.
Yeah, correct.
So that's how we want to ideally become like a parent to all our clients. So they can ask us also whenever they want a change. You feel like having a karam dosa. We're going to put some 3 white eggs, put some healthy karam chutney, roast it, give some really good coconut based peanut chutney.
Yeah.
We have a crazy meal, good amount of protein and fats from eggs, carbs from dosa and fiber from coconut. Beautiful. So let me make it.
So with Homelyfit, so actually I've been wanting to post a picture of mine. అంటే ఈ పాడ్కాస్ట్ అది స్టార్ట్ అవ్వక ముందే నేను ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ ఫొటోస్ అందరూ పెడతారు కదా, నేను పెడదామని ఎప్పటి నుంచో అనుకుంటున్నాను. ఎందుకు పోస్ట్ పోన్ అయిందో నాకు తెలియదు, కానీ మేబీ వీఆర్ సేవింగ్ ఇట్ ఫర్ టుడే, ఐ డోంట్ నో, బట్ విల్ పుట్ ద పిక్చర్స్ అండ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దట్. So I'll tell you my journey, okay? How Homelyfit helped me and all that.
I'm excited to listen.
It will be a little emotional, to be honest. So since almost 6-7 years, I've been wanting to lose weight. Of course, you are conscious and all of that. Body shaming has been like a part and parcel of my life and all of that. That's been there. But then, ఎలాగంటే ఎవరైనా ఏదైనా అంటే, లేదంటే మనకు బట్టలు పట్టకపోతే, ఇలాంటి మోటివేషన్లు వచ్చినప్పుడు ఓకే ఒక నెల రోజులు గట్టి కష్టపడదాం, తగ్గిపోవాలి. చుట్టుపక్కల చాలా మంది చెప్పేవారు లైఫ్ స్టైల్ చేంజెస్ చేసుకోవాలి, ఇవే మనకి ఎక్కేవి కాదు. ఎందుకంటే లైఫ్ స్టైల్ చేంజెస్ అంటే ఏంటి, అంత పెద్ద మాటలు ఎందుకు, లైఫ్ స్టైల్ చేంజెస్ ఏంట్రా బాబు అని ఫస్ట్ భయం వేస్తుంది. లైఫ్ స్టైల్ చేంజెస్ అని ఎవరైనా
తప్పేం చేస్తున్నా ఇప్పుడు అన్నట్టు.
కరెక్ట్. సో హెల్దీగా తింటే కూడా మనకి తక్కువ తినడంలోనే మనం ఎక్కువ సాటిస్ఫై అయిపోతాం అని కూడా నేను రియలైజ్ అయ్యాను ఆఫ్టర్ Homelyfit. I'll come to that as well. So every year my goal, okay, first of new year, whenever I sit and write goals for the year, since almost 6-7 years my goal has been to lose weight. Never achieved it till this year. So when I started Homelyfit also, right before this, I think the first call that I've had with you, I told you that my triglycerides shot up to 212 from 100. కోవిడ్ వల్ల లేదంటే కాదా, లేదంటే స్ట్రెస్ వల్ల ఫిజికలీ ఆ స్ట్రెస్ తీసుకోలేకపోతున్నాను, ఏం ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతుంది అన్నది నాకు తెలియదు. ఏదైనా నేను వండుకోరా, ఐ కాంట్ ట్రస్ట్ మై సెల్ఫ్ విత్ కుకింగ్ ఫుడ్ ఎవ్రీ డే, అండ్ ఐ డెంట్ ఈవెన్ వాంట్ టు ఈట్ అవుట్. సో ఐ వాజ్ లైక్, అరే మనీ గురించి ఆలోచించద్దు మనం, దట్స్ నాట్ అ ప్రయారిటీ, హెల్త్ ఈస్ అ ప్రయారిటీ. మనం ఐ థింక్ ఇఫ్ పీపుల్ ఎకనామిక్లీ ఆల్సో క్యాలిక్యులేట్, ఐ డోంట్ థింక్ దే have to go way out of their budget to subscribe to something like this. Okay. అది కూడా ఆలోచించలేదు. సరే ఓకే, లెట్ మీ జస్ట్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ టు ఇట్ ఫర్ 2-3 months. మనం అన్ని టెంపరీ ఫిక్స్లు చూస్తుంటాం కాబట్టి 2-3 months అని చెప్పి నేను ఐ థాట్ హోమ్లీఫిట్ ఓకే 2-3 months, నెలకి ఎంత అవుతుంది, 3 months బడ్జెట్ తీసుకొని పక్కన పెట్టేసుకున్నాను ఆఫ్టర్ ఐ స్పోక్ టు యూ. దెన్ ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ ఈటింగ్ హోమ్లీఫిట్. 3 mealsకి అయితే నాకు డబ్బులు ఎక్కువ అయిపోతాయని చెప్పి 2 mealsకి సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకున్నాను. బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ ఏదో ఒకటి ఫిగర్ అవుట్ చేసుకుందాం, ఓట్స్ తినేద్దాం, ఆమ్లెట్ వేసుకుందాం, ఏదో ఒకటి చేసుకుందాం అని చెప్పి చేశాను. సో మీరేం చేసేవాళ్ళు, 11:30-12 కల్లా ఫుడ్ బాక్స్ వచ్చేసేది కదా. సో నాకు ఐ థింక్ 3 weeks or 4 weeks ఆఫ్టర్ ఐ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ టు యూ గైస్, ఐ వాజ్ లైక్ అరే 11:30కి వచ్చేస్తుంది కదా బాక్స్, మనం 1 గంట లేట్గా లేవుద్దాం, బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ స్కిప్ చేయొచ్చు అని చెప్పి ఒక 2-3 weeks నుంచి నేను బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ స్కిప్ చేసాను. సో ఐ స్టిక్కింగ్ టు ఓన్లీ 2 meals. In 3 months I lost 11 kgs. And in one year entirely I think I lost 20 kgs just sticking to Homelyfit. No, ante I'm not sugarcoating it or anything. There was genuinely nothing else that I did. I of course exercised and all of that because I didn't want to lose muscle, thanks to Vishwa. I think I got to know about you guys also through Vishwa. I was following him, I was talking to him. He used to subscribe to you guys. So through him I got to know Homelyfit anamata. And one more thing that led to me subscribing to Homelyfit was there are a lot of brands that were national, and multiple metros lo unnai, bigger brands and all of that. But I didn't want to go for a bigger brand because I wanted that personal contact with the people, because I could tell them what I like and what I don't like. Yeah. So it was an experiment that worked out beautifully for me. This year when I sat down, honestly, I had nothing but to write like thank you to you guys.
Yeah, I know.
So I was like 20 kgs taggin tarvata, I'll tell you, I've never shopped so much in my entire life. Nenu ippudu battalu ekkadikella battalu konukuntanu endukante I'm feeling confident. And to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to get on a video if I was that heavy. I was conscious.
I mean, I can see that in you because, like, so when you lose weight, no, like, leave aside the confidence part. I'm like, I understand, like, you know, this why someone thinks like you fat or you are thin. Avanni pakkan pedte, the strength matters, how strong you are, and how confident you are. And I strongly believe that if someone is, because losing weight is not about working out, I think it's more about discipline. It's the only one word I have to say.
100%.
ఇప్పుడు ఎవరైనా సిగరెట్ ఆపేశారు అంటే దే సే దట్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ లైక్ కొనకుండా ఉండి ఆపడం ఇస్ నాట్ స్టాపింగ్, కొని చేతిలో ఉండి కూడా యు ఆర్ నాట్ సపోజ్ టు స్మోక్. దట్స్ హౌ యూ సే దట్ యూ కెన్ యాక్చువల్లీ యూ కేమ్ ఓవర్ సంథింగ్ ఆర్ లైక్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎ డిసిప్లిన్ ఓవర్ ఇట్. సో వెన్ ఐ గో టు లైక్ యునో ఇన్ కపుల్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్లో ఏమీ ఫుడ్ లేకపోతే ఎందుకంటే ఉంటే తినేస్తానంటే దట్స్ నాట్ డిసిప్లిన్. లైక్ ఇంట్లో యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ ఎ నటెల్లా జార్ ఇన్ యువర్ హోమ్. When you feel like having something, you should have like a small 1 spoon of Nutella, because it is nothing but hardly 20-21 grams of sugar ఉంటుంది. It's your cheat meal అనుకున్నా, you can just have it, but you should have the control to stop it at 1 spoon. I have majority of my clients who is like, I would like, you know, I'm not able to control my cravings, ante, then you don't know what you're eating. Like if you know that you're eating 1 pizza slice, you should know what it is doing to your body. Then only you'll be able to consume it consciously. That I saw in you, like, you know, even though you felt like you felt like eating a burger, you tell us, we'll give you it in a very healthy way, but how are we supposed to know if you're not ordering it again somewhere else or eating? No one has that. I can see you gradually losing over a period of time, and I can see even your skin also. It tells a lot when you lose good amount of weight in a healthy way. So even you have been one of our inspiration. Even when you're sending this month below, I told you, like, you know, you are this one constant customer who has been so long that even now we know what you like, what you don't like. Even one of my chef will be like, Uddana, she doesn't like it, let's make it in a different way. I was so confident that they know about your choices also.
So with the food also, right, initially నాకు అంత న్యూట్రిషన్ గురించి నాకు ఐడియా లేదు. బట్ వన్ సింపుల్ థింగ్ దట్ ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు స్టిక్ టు, ఎక్కువ చేంజెస్ చేయకుండా, వాజ్ దట్ మ్యాక్రోస్ ఒకటి ఇది అవ్వాలి, తర్వాత 400-500 క్యాలరీస్లో ఫుడ్ కావాలి. ప్రోటీన్ మనం మీల్లోనే ఎప్పుడైతే యాడ్ చేసుకుంటామో యువర్ క్రేవింగ్స్ కమ్ డౌన్ డ్రాస్టిక్లీ, మ్యాన్. దట్స్ సంథింగ్ దట్ ఐవ్ అబ్జర్వ్డ్. మై షుగర్ క్రేవింగ్స్ ప్రీవియస్లీ 1.5 years బ్యాక్, ఇఫ్ యూ టోల్డ్ మీ దట్ ఐ కాంట్ హ్యావ్ అ డెజర్ట్, ఐ వుడ్ బి లైక్,
వై? ఎందుకు ఐ వాంట్ టు ఈట్. లైక్ when you say something you don't want it, you would want it much more. You would crave for it. It comes in your dreams.
Exactly, that's me.
Yeah,
that's me.
I remember because like andukane whenever you feel like it has a craving, the healthiest way. Like I love how we do this brown bread halwa.
Yeah, brown bread halwa. I love carrot halwa also, and pancakes.
Yeah.
I love the pancakes very, very much. So this is my journey with Homelyfit anamata. I remember that every time I used to travel or anything, the first thing that comes on my mind is, "Arey, my food will be different if I travel somewhere." That's the kind of impact that Homelyfit has on me. And to be very honest, when you told about Rushi also, like when he got, I was so happy. It felt,
Yeah, I remember sharing
although
it
I
with
never
you.
saw him in my entire life, I've never seen this guy. With you, at least I met you in the gym a couple of times. I've never seen him, but I was so happy for him. On my birthday, I wanted to send you guys sweets and all that, because genuinely it changed my life. I'm honestly telling you, it did change my life to like a great extent, where I'm feeling confident to be on camera and all of those things.
I'm so glad because it's more than 50% is our thing, but also 50% your discipline and your trust that okay, we are doing this, we'll do it right. So that's something insane, and I'm extremely happy that I could influence you in such a good way.
Thank you so much. So I think now if I have to list down, anybody's weight loss and all of that, like I do tell people that మనకి ఓవర్ కమిట్ చేసుకోవద్దు. మనం రోజు వండుకుంటాం, మనం ఉద్యోగాలు చేసి ఇంటికి వచ్చి వండుకోవడాలు అవి మన వల్ల కాదు. ఇట్స్ ఓకే. ఐ థింక్ హెల్త్ ఇస్ బై ద వే, వన్ మోర్ థింగ్ దట్ ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు ఆల్సో టెల్ ఇస్ దట్, సారీ, ట్రైగ్లిసరైడ్స్ అవి పెరిగాయి, ఇవన్నీ చెప్పాను కదా. ఐ వాజ్ బార్డర్ లైన్, నా షుగర్ లెవెల్స్ కూడా యాక్చువల్లీ బార్డర్ లైన్ ఉండే, అంటే ఇంకొక 2-3 పాయింట్స్ ముందుకెళ్తే ఐ కుడ్ బి డయాబెటిక్ అండ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దాట్. ఆఫ్టర్ 1 year, లాస్ట్ మార్చ్లో ఐ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ టు Homelyfit. దిస్ మార్చ్ ఐ గాట్ మై రిపోర్ట్స్ అండ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దాట్. They were on point. My triglycerides were on point, thyroid, glucose, everything was on point, and my B12 is almost 800 now. Because I'm eating chicken 2 times a day. So ante inka always holistically anamata, ante healthy eating and all of that. I didn't know the positives that it would have. Weight loss ante anukunna it's all about looks అని అనుకున్నాను, కానీ the confidence that you will have, your mental strength, all these things change.
Because like also it's about, see, very simple, you are what you eat. It's a very strong statement. And general weight loss annappudu they'll stop eating all this junk. And when I say junk, even though the majority of the macros are not healthy, they still have some micros that are pending. Like, you still need to get your own fish oil, like omega gani, B12 gani, calcium gani. So sometimes whenever randomly, like, people ask, like, for example, today you got spaghetti in lunch. Why does it have so much palak? Because otherwise you wouldn't eat palak separately. Because you just not like నాకు చిన్నప్పుడు ఎవరైనా పాలకూర కూర చేసి ఏడ్చేవాడిని, కన్నీళ్ళు వచ్చి, నాకు ఇష్టం లేదు అసలు అది. బట్ ద సేమ్ థింగ్, ఇఫ్ ఐ మిక్స్ ఇట్, marinate it with chicken and make it like a basil manchuria, you wouldn't even know that you're having it. You wouldn't even know that you're having so many bell peppers, you're having so many, like, some of the chicken gravy, it's nothing but all the vegetables are mixed and then made into gravy. So you're not just having a chicken curry, you're having it with so much fiber. Telikunda. That's correct. Like your overall, as a holistic, overall you'll have better digestion, better eye care, better skin care, because we are in a generation where we're lazy, number one, because ఇంతకుముందు బయటకి ఏమైనా వెళ్ళాలి అనుకుంటే ఫిజికల్ ఎనర్జీ ఉండేది, యూ హ్యావ్ టు గో అవుట్ అండ్ గెట్ ఇట్. బట్ నౌ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ కమ్స్ విత్ ఇన్ 10 minutes if you want.
Correct.
Everything is at your disposal. ఇంతకుముందు ఐస్ క్రీమ్ తినాలి అంటే యూ హ్యావ్ టు గో డౌన్ అండ్ ఈట్. So that kind of stops you from having. Now it's just 10 minutes, you can have your ice cream and you can eat it and then feel sad about it. That yes, people like, అలా ఉన్నప్పుడు the only way you have a control over what you eat is when someone else is curating it. Otherwise you'll not. It's very difficult. You need extreme focus and extreme discipline to cook what you can. And kontamandi cooking ishtam undadu. It's impossible. And we can't blame them also. So andukane Homelyfit tries to cater to those people who wants to know what they want to eat, and we'll try to give them that answer.
Where I think it's much bigger than what we can ever verbalize, but it is becoming like my story now. I'll move away from my experience and a little bit away from Homelyfit as well. What are the other things that you do apart from Homelyfit? Because I know that you take up some consultant gigs to manage multiple things. How is it like, and how do you pull that off?
So basically, after Homelyfit, I had one more tech startup by the name of Habit.
Okay.
Me and I have this childhood friend called Somnath Sandeep, with whom I started this edtech company. So Habit is all about. It was exactly during lockdown we realized that people would want to socialize, or they're not used to being in their homes. So we thought that there's a really good market gap. So both of us from Tirupati, we started this company where it's a simple edtech platform where you can learn your hobbies in a structured way and make them into your habits. So let's say, for example, you want to learn poker. You don't know where to start from.
Correct.
Like you ask everyone like how to learn this, how to do this, and you will check a lot of YouTube videos. But in YouTube, no one says you that this is the order in which you have to learn. There is, and also it's one way. Like you will see the video, you'll try to, but the learning gap is so different from person to person. It's not like if 2 plus 2 you say it's 4, everyone also will say it's 4 because they'll learn it over a period of time. But something like why should you play a hand in poker, or why should you beatbox in a different way? Why should, let's say you don't have any alternative in cooking or baking, what are you going to use? So this unconventional hobbies, it's better if you learn from a mentor. So that's why Habit is all about mentorship, where each mentor can curate their own community and people can learn different things. We have 65-year-old like people learning food blogging, they're learning about poker. We had 10-year-old, I remember a 10-year-old, she was learning about content writing. She wanted to become like a food content writer. We had like 35, 40-year-old housewives, they're learning belly dancing online. So we had, we raised pre-seeded funding, and then like we had around 50,000 active users on our platform also. But then yes, because of edtech took like a big hit, because people wanted to bounce back so much after COVID. So we couldn't reach those numbers, and I took like an early exit from the company, and that's when we came back to trying to do Homelyfit. But I never wanted to get an outside investment like what we did for Habit, because when we got an outside investment from Habit, an investor comes, it's very important when you're an entrepreneur, it's very important to choose if you want to be self-funded or you want to take an investment from outside. Because taking investment from outside, the first question they're going to ask is, number one, how much did you put in your company till now? It should be a good amount of money. Let's say if you like Ledu, you not keeping any money and you expect an investor to come and say that invest an entire amount of, let's say, 1 crore, you would not be happy. He's like, you yourself didn't put money because you don't trust it. Like, how come I don't believe that your dad will not have that basic money to invest in his own son's company. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the reason, like, I didn't want to get the same problem again. I wanted a good investment for Homelyfit to make it a very big thing in India. For that, I do a lot of side gigs. For example, I work as a chef. I worked in the coffee shop True Black as a chef. Then I used to assist Naina in running the Last House coffee shop. I used to work as many things like a barista or a chef, or like even the customer consultant in Last House Coffee. I used to work there. On the side, I also do food consultations. If someone wants to open a restaurant, open a cafe. So I'm very good at branding, because in college I did my marketing specialization. So then I used it as a food consultant. If someone wants to have like a menu, for example, there is this ice cream shop called Revel in Banjara Hills.
Yeah.
So I curated their entire food menu. Like how does the Sunday should look like. Even still now, the brownies and millet cookies are being supplied by Homelyfit for that particular brand.
Wonderful.
So we do that. I do that on sites. On site, I recently got into construction because the good old fashioned business still has money in it. So I got into construction. I have a part with a brand called IKEA Studios. I'm like a consultant partner with them.
Okay.
So we do this, let's say you have like all the commercial stores that you see, like Samsung, Oppo, whatever store that you see, the brand doesn't actually come and do the construction here. They just give that design and we kind of execute it. So the brand called Nothing, it's an electronic brand. Probably it's going to beat Apple. It's what their goal is. They want to come as a millennial brand.
Okay.
So Pan India, we are trying to get the execution contract. We executed one store in Bangalore last month. And so this is all to get more liquid cash for me to channelize and fund it into Homelyfit.
Very interesting.
These are pretty much I do. Now and then I do like this, we curate gift hampers to get some really good PR in Hyderabad. So we get to meet a lot of similar minded people. So we help here and there so that we build that network base. So when the situation comes, we can utilize it to grow our business.
Fair.
Yeah.
So, two things that I want to ask from this. One is there are a couple of people initial గా ఒకవేళ ఒక బ్రాండ్ స్టార్ట్ చేశారు, సక్సెస్ అయిపోయింది అంటే they don't want to do anything else, which I feel like is not the best thing to do. Reason being, you can mobilize funds like you said. You need to put your own organization in an autopilot after a point where your inference is as minimal, so you can actually pivot and do more than what's required. Do you have any more thoughts on this?
So as a person, I would say that it's nothing wrong if someone wants to build something and let it be like that.
Okay.
Because there is no correct or right or wrong way to building a company as such. And maybe that particular person wants mental peace in life and they're content with what they have. Because I strongly believe if a person knows what they want to do and if they're happy with what they're doing, they're going to have a peaceful life, which is ultimately anyone who wants it.
Correct.
I strongly feel that because one more thing, like when you say that, because in the same lines of healthy, I've been going to therapy, which I don't mind saying it on camera also, is because everyone would need therapy at a point of time. It's not like spending on yourself. If you rephrase the words called investing in yourself, like you can have like or every day if you order, you'll still be maybe less money than what Homelyfit is costing.
Yeah.
But still, you are not spending there, you're just investing in your own self. So when you go to therapy, you'll realize more about yourself.
Correct.
And I strongly feel that when I'm doing so many things, it's my coping mechanism of feeling self-fulfilled. If I don't do this, I feel that I haven't done enough for me to have like a peaceful night sleep.
Yeah.
Which is a great toxic area to be in. Because it's a productive way. Like, yeah, some people choose alcohol, some people choose marijuana, some people choose different ways of coping mechanism to deal with reality.
Yeah.
Madhav Raidu, who has been struggling to play cricket, but he kind of cracked it last year. He played for the state Andhra Ranji team. He ended up playing as a netballer for CSK. He got mentored under Dhoni. And probably next year is going to be his breaking moment into IPL. And within 1 year, probably everyone will know him also. But has been focused. He has a goal. I want to play for the Indian cricket team. As an entrepreneur, you'll not have that. Like, how much money is enough for you? How many branches do you want to be? How much do you want to be evaluated?
Yeah.
So if I see someone whom you mentioned, like how they established something and they're happy with it, I think I would be jealous of them. Because they're happy. Their ambition is clear. Each person has their own way of doing business. No?
Yeah.
So I would be jealous of them. But also, I know that is not something that makes me happy. I want to keep myself occupied. I want to know, like, what am I going to do for the day? Even if it is as simple as going for a movie, I'll plan it because I'll feel self-fulfilled that I did this. It doesn't have to be for the society, it's for me. So each person has their own way of doing business, and I strongly there is no right or wrong way about it. Because the moment you are thinking there's a right or wrong way, I honestly feel that you are comparing that with someone else's standard. So when you think it from that way, that's why we're making this podcast.
Yeah.
You have one standard that you want it in such way. It's very cool to say that don't compare. It's a very cool statement to pass, but it's a very intrinsic statement. From childhood, you have been compared. Like, what's your rank? Until 12th class, your survival was based on comparison.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like if you say that someone has to get 10th rank for that fellow to get first rank. So okkad happiness kosam, the rest of so many people had to suffer humiliation. And it is a bygone process till now. Like, even now, if you say, who is the richest person? He's the richest person because the rest of them are poorer than him. So,
relativity.
Yeah, comparison is there in your freaking DNA. So, if someone says that don't compare us, like, it is it's a hypocritic statement.
Yeah.
So, if you are content with what you have and what you have done, I strongly feel that is someone who has gotten over the concept of comparison or made peace with it. So if you meet someone like that, you should definitely keep them in your circle because they're gonna give you a different perspective. డబ్బులు సంపాదించాలని చాలా మంది చెప్తారు, అంబిషన్ ఉండాలి ఇంకా చాలా మంది చెప్తారు, బట్ నిజంగా వాళ్ళు హ్యాపీగా ఉండి they're content with what they're doing. Again, you should not, this is a very gray area. చేత కాకుండా చేయడం కాదు. ఇప్పుడు if let's say you talk about weight loss, it makes sense because you have done that. I talk about starting your own business, it makes sense. Sagar talks about shooting some really good content, makes sense because he has done it. నువ్వు డబ్బులు సంపాదించడం ఈజీ రా అంటే I don't believe in that concept. You do that, then you have earned the right to talk about it. You have the right to talk about any podcast, production, editing. You have earned the right because you put it. సో ఎవరైతే సక్సెస్ అవ్వకుండా వాడు వచ్చి నాకు హ్యాపీగా ఉండు అది ఇంపార్టెంట్ అంటే నేను నమ్మను. I don't know if it is by default you want to choose to be happy, but you did it, and that's when you have the right to talk.
Correct.
సో అప్పుడు నాకు చెప్పు, నువ్వు చేయకుండా వచ్చి నాకు చెప్పడం అనేది రైట్ కాదు. సో అందుకే ఈచ్ పీపుల్ హ్యాస్ their own ideology. So when I rarely, like, I don't have any crazy anything against them, but for me to respect them, I need to know one thing. If they have achieved, even if it's a small goal, it doesn't have to be big. Like, I have so much respect on you because you kept a goal and you have done it. So that shows a lot about a person's discipline, focus, and how good they are committed to what they are. So alanti vallu you need to keep your circle, because my mom always used to say this. నీ చుట్టూ ఉండే 5 people, their average IQ, their average EQ is your average. నీ చుట్టూ ఉండే వాళ్ళు, if they are going to be like, let's say if you're on a weight loss journey, ఈ ఒక్కరోజు తిను పర్లేదు, ఈ ఒక్కరోజు తిను, that is not a healthy crowd to be associated with. Let's say if you, like yesterday night I went out and they were drinking and they asked me, do you want to have a beer? I'm like, I don't want to have it. And yeah, as a friend they'll force you once. But after a point of time, if they're a really good your friend, ante they will not force you also. They know that they're not going to have it. People are not going to make me stay out after 11 o'clock. They know that I'm a sleeping person by 11. So you need to have such people, because your average surroundings, it will influence a lot of your lifestyle, and you'll not feel that you're doing something wrong. Being conscious about what you're eating, it is not wrong. నువ్వు బయటికి నాకు ఏదైనా ఆర్డర్ పెడుతున్నప్పుడు, I don't want deep fried or maida or sugar. It's a basic requirement. If someone comes and says, hey, gommanundra, ippuden diet anante, those are the people who make you feel that you are doing something wrong, which is, you can't avoid such people, but if you are living with them also, you need to let their thoughts come into your head. Because that will make you feel that, okay, I'm doing something wrong. Am I supposed to eat a biryani on a cheat meal? You don't have to. Even it can be small dairy milk. So your people matter a lot. That's my thoughts. I know it went somewhere, but I just thought I'll give
No,
you
I think you've tapped into a lot of topics about mental health, right? Basically, if you're content with what you're doing, that's one side of the story. And if you have the itch to do more, which is where most of us fall under, with the podcasting and all of that also, the idea came because I was not fulfilled with what I was doing with life. I was like, job చేస్తున్నాం, ఓకే, we have earned a decent living for ourselves, but what am I truly doing to fulfill my potential? I feel like my potential was not tapped into completely. Every night I used to go to sleep, అరే లైఫ్లో ఏం చేయట్లేదు అని. Almost it's been since years, but last year, because I was on this weight loss journey, I had that like content feeling that, okay, last year, to be very honest, my focus was only that, to lose weight. I was like, డబ్బులు సంపాదించిన బిజినెస్ ఇదంతా పక్కన పెట్టేద్దాం, ఓన్లీ వెయిట్ లాస్ అని చెప్పి పెట్టుకున్నాను. దిస్ ఇయర్ when I started, I was like, I need to, I think in my goals list also, I was like 500 subscribers. I have these things
good
listed out anamata. So that's why, and I also believe in the universe conspiring to make things happen. When I met Rushil in April, okay, we were sitting and we were having this kind of a conversation only. Okay, 4-5 hours మాట్లాడుకున్నాం కంటిన్యూస్ గా. And after 4-5 hours I said something like, and during those 4-5 hours I said that nothing is giving me that drive anymore. Ila I've achieved these 2-3 things in my life, now I don't have that drive అని చెప్పి end of the conversation I was like, ఈ 4 hours పాడ్కాస్ట్ అయి ఉంటే క్రేజీ ఉండేది, I've been wanting to do this but I'm conscious ఇది అది అంటే, Rushil was like, you start, I'll be your first guest అని చెప్తారు. I was like, wow, okay, sure అని చెప్పి, that thought was passive from April. In July, I met Sunil, our camera guy, in Red Rhino.
Okay.
Random, I went out for food with my friend, and this guy was shooting for some food blogger with a camera. I went to him and I was like, bro, nee number తీసుకుంటాను, I'm interested in doing something like this. Next week I reached out to Rushil. I was like, I found a camera guy and all of that, I'm going to put things in motion. And he was like, yeah, let's do it and చెప్పి. After the first shoot, I've decided that let's keep it consistent and let's see where this is going. Now also, if people would have asked me July first week that would you do a podcast, and I would have laughed it off.
Yeah.
But now I go to sleep peacefully. I'm like, my energy completely is drained.
And also you look forward for tomorrow because you have something for that.
Yes. Yeah. So enjoying the craft also. But we were talking about generational curses as well.
Yeah. I mean, in what aspect of generational curse?
How parents impose that you should get married by 25, 26, 27.
I mean, it's not their fault. Like, see, for example, let's say if I ask you, how is the lifestyle of a French guy? Would you be able to say? No, because you haven't exposed to it.
Yeah.
Like when you go down and tell your perspective to a French guy, he's going to judge you the same way how we are judging our previous generations. Because he's like, but even he'll say, like, you have never seen how a French guy lives.
Correct.
What is his ideology? Like, the least amount of marriages in the entire world are in Paris, in the most romantic city of the world. They are the highest breakups. They have the highest lonely rate. You actually, it's a very astonishing fact. The most romantic city, that's where the highest divorce rate is there. And lot of majority of the people are not at all like committed, like in a relationship, like in a marriage. So that's because like you're not exposed to that kind of culture. The way our parents, they have not been exposed to so much. Like, you know, Antenduku, do you realize like before 4 years or 3 years, we're using 1 GB data the entire month.
I swear to God, I just ordered a hard disk.
That's because like you remember 1 GB of internet data for the entire month. But then, can you imagine now of using 1 GB for the entire month? Can you imagine? No, you will use it within 1 hour.
Yep.
So there's so much data getting into your brain. You know how Northern Lights look like. You know how European lifestyle is. You know how, like, you know, Arabians live, or like a lot of people, like that's something your parents didn't get exposed to. They didn't get exposed to the European culture or the Western culture. So they're the only the culture that they have been exposed to is a girl has to get married before 24, 25. Ideally, a guy has to get married before 28, 29. Before turning 30. 30 is like a very big number for them.
Yeah.
Before that, you need to get married so that you can have kids. They can go to college, they can go to school, and by the time you are supposed to like get them married, and that's when you are fulfilled.
Which is when you choose 55, 60.
How you choose podcast as your fulfillment? Their fulfillment comes from your life actions. When you think about it in such a way, you'll stop blaming them. You'll just start understanding them and say that, why are you doing what you're doing? And you'll try to convince them, and if they are not, that's when you have to let go of pleasing your parents. It doesn't, your parents' happiness is not your prerequisite. Vaalla aanandanga undalani nu baadhapadalsina avasaram ledhu. It's a very strong statement, and the moment you understand it and you make your parents understand it, that's when I think so you're going to start growing as an individual. Otherwise, you'll always be overshadowed by your parent or your elder generation, because you are living there to please them. Like, if you're doing this podcast to make your father or mom happy, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
So, andukani I feel that like as a generation, there is heavy influence of them. The moment you get over it a little bit, it doesn't have to be that you have to like get away from them. It's not that. They're still your parents. You still have to be gratitude. If none of my mommy daddy, if they didn't invest in my education and send me to Bangalore, probably I'll be out there in Tirupati. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I would be there and my journey would be different. I would just be chilling in the chai shop, playing cricket in the morning or evening. It's a happy life. I'm not comparing it, but I wouldn't be like this. And I like this. So I would be, it's very, like, even if I think that my life, ilanti kaani life ఆలోచించడం కూడా, I'm like, I would miss this. So I'm grateful for my mom, dad, because వాళ్ళు అప్పుడు అలా చేయడం వల్ల నేను ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఉన్నా. I'm grateful for what they have done, but that doesn't mean that they have a say in what I'm going to do. Yes, I'll respect their boundaries. Let's say if they are very particular about one thing, please don't do this. My mom's only thing when I entered food is like, don't get into alcohol industry, please. That's the only prerequisite my mom had. That's something I'll respect, because still for some people I'm not Sathwik, I'm Sathwik, son of Padma. So she would still want that respect to be there, because I'm associated with her and she doesn't want me to in selling alcohol.
Yeah.
It is her own ideology. I'm not going to say that alcohol is wrong or right or anything as such. It's her own ideology and you respect it. So a level comes where if they have the very basic problem, let's say if I'm really good, I really want to become a bartender or a mixologist. That's where the conflict of interest comes.
Yeah.
That's when if I'm going to choose pleasing my mom or making myself happy, I'm going to take that decision. So each person has their own that barrier. The moment you break that barrier is when I feel that you're going to start growing as an individual.
Yeah, I think parent pleasing is one aspect of people pleasing.
Yeah, it's a subset of the superset of peer pressure.
Yeah, and I've seen people in our circles under same age, late 20s, early 30s. I am surprised when people tell me that నేను ఇంటికి బేగా వెళ్ళిపోవాలి, my parents are waiting. I'm like, I understand your parents are waiting, but do you want to go? Do you want to stay?
Yeah, that's the question. Do you want to go? మీ మమ్మీ డాడీ ఉన్నారని వెళ్ళాలనుకుంటున్నావు, నీకు వెళ్ళాలని ఉందా?
ఇంత peer pressure, and I know a lot of my friends also getting into arranged marriages, right? I'm like, but this is also something that is in our heads, you know. They might not want an individual opinion themselves. They might not want that individuality for themselves. Manam anukuntam
because they can, I don't know, maybe this point where they can blame if something doesn't work out. See, it's a very interesting take. Like the reason why I'm not taking decision, for example, ఇప్పుడు నువ్వే ఆర్డర్ చేయరా, బయటకు వెళ్ళి నువ్వే ఆర్డర్ చేయరా, and you order something and if it is not great, ఏం ఆర్డర్ చేశారని నీ ముఖంలా ఉంది అని చెప్పేసి you kind of easily it's very difficult to take ownership. Okay, I'm going to order this and if it is not good, I'm going to blame myself for it. I should have ordered better. People don't want to take that decision and that's when relying on other people. It's as simple as being disciplined and focused on what you want. You want to eat hakka noodles, you eat it. అది నీకు తినాలనుంది కానీ you just don't want to take the decision because what if it is wrong? What if it is bad? You don't want to take that decision.
So a couple of things before we part is one is if people want to start something themselves, either kotta business start cheyadam anukuntunnaru, entrepreneur avudam anukuntunnaru, what industries do you think that they should bet on?
Okay. So before answering that question, first thing I would want them to answer themselves is why do they want to do business or why do they want to get into entrepreneurship? So this is there's a small difference between a business and a startup. So business is basically, startup is also a business, but I have this definition where a business is something where you are repeating a already existing successful formula. For example, there is a restaurant called Bawarchi and you come up with Madhapur Bawarchi. That's basically you are replicating someone else's success, which is a business idea. Correct. It is nothing wrong. But a startup is basically saying that bowls of Bawarchi, starting a kitchen and making it cost effective and making it like a franchisee module. So any other people also can start similar lines. So you bring a tinge of innovation in it, like bowls of Bawarchi, where you will get Bawarchi biryani in a bowl. That's like some innovation. Instead of like a random biryani pack or something. So if you bring some innovation into a business, that's when it comes to a startup. So that's how definition of, in my opinion. Now when someone wants to start something, annitikante mukyam, why are you doing and enduku chestunavu asla? Let's say if you want to do a business startup, for what reason? Like my reason is I don't want someone to say that wake up and come here by 9 o'clock. నేను ఎవ్రీడే కిచెన్ 9 o'clock వెళ్తాను. Probably people wouldn't even go to their job so early. I will go to my kitchen that early. But that's out of my choice. If I don't want to go, I don't want to go. I am doing business or a startup for that particular only single reason. Money is secondary and everything, in my opinion. So freedom is what? I'm not buying, I'm not sacrificing. I'm sacrificing this monthly salary for my freedom. It is not right or wrong. కానీ నాకు ఇష్టం అది. నాకు ఇప్పుడు ఒక సినిమా, బికాస్ ఐ లవ్ మూవీస్, ఐ వాచ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇన్ థియేటర్ రిగార్డ్లెస్. ఈవెన్ yesterday I went to a movie called 800 by మురళీధరన్. ఒక్కడనే వెళ్తాను. I keep going to the movies alone. So ఆ ఫ్రీడమ్ కోసం I do business. So you should have your strong reason, because if you don't have that strong reason, you don't look forward for that business. When something business antene hurdles. So when a very big hurdle comes, if you don't have a strong reason to do the business, you will give up. That's when majority of the people. Like, don't you think every day I have one or the other new problem coming up? But that's the cost I'm bearing for my freedom on it.
Correct.
So our reason strong గా ఉండాలి. If without that reason, just because someone else are doing something, you don't get involved in it. Because if you get involved for the wrong reasons, you will fail extremely bad. And these are some losses which you can't recover also. The financial loss. So you have to be very careful in that aspect. That's the only biggest problem. If you solve that problem, doing business is very easy, or a startup. It's just that you need to be a little bit smart about it, and you can do. And industries again has to be. I can obviously get into import export also, because that's a really good business.
Okay.
But do I really like it? No. Do I have any part of it that I like it? No. I like cooking. Just because again I got into construction for the money aspect. So I don't like the construction job or like project I take up, but there is good amount of money which will fuel my genuine passion towards food.
Correct.
So దానికోసం if you like, my reason is very clear. Why am I taking construction? For the money. So if ఎంత ఛాలెంజ్ వచ్చినా కానీ నీకు ఆ డబ్బుల కోసం చేస్తున్నావు, సో జస్ట్ షట్ అప్ అండ్ డూ ఇట్. దెన్ గో బ్యాక్ అండ్ డూ ఇట్, పుట్ ఇట్ ఇన్ యువర్ ఓన్ ప్రాజెక్ట్. సో యూ నీడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ఎలా అని. అండ్ ఎనీ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ పర్ సే that kind of I would recommend is again whatever industry that they're interested in. Correct. If they don't like that industry, it will feel like a job. You will not look forward going to whatever you're doing if you don't have passion towards it. Even if you like and how do I know what my passion? It's a very generic question. How do you? ఇది ఈ నగరానికి ఏమైందిలో కూడా విశ్వక్ సేన్ సేస్ దిస్ అనమాట. సరిగ్గా క్లైమాక్స్ రాలేదు, సో అది వచ్చేంత వరకు నేను అన్నీ మూసుకొని కూర్చోలేను కదా, స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే వస్తుంది కదా అన్నట్టు. సేమ్ వే నీ ప్యాషన్ అనేది, ఇఫ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ డూయింగ్ సో మెనీ థింగ్స్ స్మాల్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఇఫ్ యూ లైక్ ఇట్ ఆర్ నాట్. ఐ లైక్ కుకింగ్, ఐ లైక్ టాకింగ్ టు పీపుల్ ఇన్ ఎ cafe. I got to know it because I learned in a cafe. I don't like construction. I have been on site for like 20 days with cement and everything. I don't like construction. So నీకు అది ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది నీకు ఇష్టమా లేదా అని? I thought I love editing, but I can't. It's చాలా కష్టం. It's something, కొంతమంది they love editing. When they show me the reels that they have made, elevation shots పెట్టి slow mo పెడితే, I was so happy because I did some short films also. I have this keen thing about it because my brother's feature film is coming probably November or December.
Oh, wonderful.
Nee Dare Nee Kada ani, he's the main lead in the movie also. So I have a thing for interest in acting also, but I've been doing a couple of short films to see if I'm comfortable enough. So the only way, if there's one thing, if I have to say someone, if they want to start something new, business, like a podcast like this or a startup as such or anything, number one, have like a strong reason as to why you're doing. And number two, choose something that you are little bit interested in. The passionate is a very big word. You like doing something that's basically, that's what you're passionate about also. And that you can do. So that's how I feel that. So I'm not going to give like this industry. I will not at all name any industry because it's whatever it is subjective for you. It's not also me. Like you might love potato curry. I might hate it for no reason. It doesn't have to have a logic. Why? So అందుకే whatever field you are in, that is entirely based on if you are comfortable enough. And this is a really good dialogue that comes from ఈ నగరానికి. It's my favorite movie. He's like, జిందగీ ఏంట్రా అంటే నలుగురు నచ్చిన మనుషులతో 4 మెతుకులు తింటూ నచ్చిన పని చేసుకోవడమేరా అని. So that's something I would say, I would live with that philosophy.
Fair. Yeah. Agreed. All right. We've come to the end of the podcast. Any parting thoughts?
I think I already told of that one punch dialogue, that particular dialogue. But if there is something that I would say, it's like strongly, this is one statement that I kind of live and also I'm very happy about it is, doing a mistake, mistakes are better than regrets. So if you think doing something, if you think it is a mistake, it's fine. Just make sure it's not a regret. Say, appudu chesundale annadu లేదు. ఇప్పుడు అనుకుని చాలా మంది కోకాపేటలో ఒక 5 years బ్యాక్ ల్యాండ్ కొని ఉండాలా అని. హౌ కోకాపేట్ ఇస్ నౌ, దట్స్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ హౌ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఏరియాస్ ఇన్ అరౌండ్ హైదరాబాద్ ఆర్. లైక్ శంకర్ 3-4 years బ్యాక్ కోకాపేట్ ఇలా ఉంటుంది ఎవ్వరికీ తెలియదు.
కరెక్ట్.
ద సేమ్ వే యూ నెవర్ నో హౌ శంకర్పల్లి విల్ ఆల్సో బి. సో దట్స్ ఇట్. ఇఫ్ యూ ఫీల్ లైక్ డూయింగ్ సంథింగ్, డూ ఇట్ ఆఫ్, బికాస్ ఎ మిస్టేక్ ఇస్ బెటర్ దెన్ రిగ్రెట్. So that's what I would say. That's one thing I live by, because it makes me happy at mental peace.
Yeah.
So find your reason or find but one statement that you live with. So it will make your life happy. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Sure.
What you're doing is insanely confident, which I am sure I'll not be able to, like, I would need some little bit more motivation for me to like actually pull it off. But it was lovely being here, and it was also my effort of, this is my first, other than the short film, this is my second
On
time
camera.
I'm being on camera, and that's why I didn't even tell him how I want to look, because it will be conscious enough. So I'm still getting over it, but yeah, thanks for making me do this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming. I think we've had deep conversations.
Yeah, we touched actually 2 points. Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming, Sathwik.
And yeah,